In this video, I'd like to talk about how knowing yourself and knowing who you are, what's important to you, your deep down core values and beliefs are really important and are actually a big part of fighting depression. And what amazes me, strictly speaking for myself, is looking back on it, how I really knew a lot about myself and what I really believed in and knew about myself, in the sense that when I was, I'd say my late teenager, early 20s, and it continued into my 30s and whatever. I kind of let society dictate that it was kind of idealist, this and that. But back then, I really believed in wanting to help people, genuinely helping people. I didn't know how to go about it, whether it be doing a job in social services or what. I didn't really know how to go about it. I was never very good at school, so there was sort of that combination that wasn't working out. But deep in my core and my soul, I knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to provide a little extra for those in need, for those in more need than I am. Anyway, whatever that may mean whatever that meant for me. And like I mentioned earlier, because of letting sort of some of society's, how to say, ideas that, it's idealistic. It's great to think that, but that's not the way the world works. You have to get a normal job, 9 to 5, and pay your bills, and that'll be fine. And it's just think you want to be nice and whatever, but it doesn't go to that next level. And for the longest time, I really struggled with that. I really struggled, not necessarily that that's what I wanted. What I struggled with was, if all I am needed for is to do a normal, common, like everybody else, nothing special, nothing, there was sort of that idea. I was brought up with that idea that you work to pay for yourself, to pay for your home, your car, your travel, whatever it is, the lifestyle you want to live there. But you work in order to get that, and that's all there is to it. If you enjoy work, that's just a bonus. If you do something good, that's just a bonus. Just go out, do your job, pay your bills, and shut up is what it really came down to. And for the longest time, that really, I actually, at the end of my depression, about a year and a half ago, and not really that long ago, I was really at the point where I said, fuck you. If that's all I'm here for, if that's all people expect and want from me, fuck it. What's the use? And just to get back to the origin of this talk, is that I'm looking back on it, and wow, as a 16, 17, 20, 25-year-old, I already knew I wanted to help people. I didn't know how to go about it, and I wasn't expressing it properly, and social pressures I was letting get to me and were there. And I mean, there's a whole slew of things we could discuss as to why it turned out for so long the way it did. And I mean, it did, and now I'm just looking back on it. Hindsight is always 20/20. There's nothing necessarily great about that, but looking back, that I actually did know. I just didn't know how to go about it and ask for it, and that in itself is another problem that we could look into it. But if there's any message here, is that regardless of your age, if you're younger, hey, I won't be jealous, but I'd say, go for it. Deep down, you know what you like, or at least what you'd like to try, what you think you like. And as long as is something that doesn't harm you, others, or the environment, I say go for it. Go for it. If it's not something harmful, go for it. It doesn't necessarily have to be something, quote unquote, helpful or altruistic or whatever. I don't think I come off as. I hope I don't come off as thinking I'm better than anyone else for that, because I'm not. But if you do think something, that what I like is this. Well, go out and do it. And as easy as that sounds, because we hear that way too often. I hear that way too often. Just go out and do it. Buy a Nike shoe, right? That's easier said than done, because the social pressures will be there. Whatever it is you want to do, if it's not within the norms, and the norms are narrower and narrower nowadays, you more than likely will get criticized, will be put down, will be this and that. So there is a lot of fighting against the current. But I do believe that it's more important to do it, at least try to do it as much as you can within your circumstances, and just see what happens. Just see what happens. I'm not going to say, if it turns out it does, if it doesn't, it just go out, do it, see what happens. And if, it doesn't really matter what happens. Go out, do it, it happens. And I'm just putting that out as, I don't know if it's helpful. Let's say if it's helpful, hopefully it is helpful to someone somewhere. But for the longest time, that is something that I really struggled with. That I'm just here to do Joe Blow's fucking 9 to 5 like everybody else, and come home and pay the bills, and is that it? Because if that is it, and there was a point when if that's it, fuck it. I don't need it. There's 7 billion other people that are willing to do it. Let them do it. I don't need it. So if you're caught in that quandary of, there's got to be more or whatever, or I'd really like this, I've always wanted, fuck, go ahead and do it. People won't like it? No, and that will be very hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, it's going to be, just screw what they're going to say, this and that. I mean, yes, in a sense, that's what you got to do. But that is one of the most difficult parts, actually, is telling the world to go fuck itself. I'm doing what I want.